Hey, what's up, folks? Today we want to delve into something that's really exciting, and that is the idea of creative consulting. Particularly, I want to explore how creative consulting is really shaking up the business world and changing the way people do business, both at the corporate level. And if you understand this concept, it will definitely allow and help you to transform your business even if you are a small business. So, you know how traditional consulting can be a little bit stiff, a little dry. Imagine when you hear about a consultant, what typically comes to mind? Guy with a MBA, and nothing wrong with MBA, or in a suit and tie, and that's fine, right? In mainstream corporate consulting, that's the modus operandi. That's the MO. You got to dress for the occasion. But things are changing, and not every consultant wants to be in a suit and tie 7 days a week or 6 days a week, right? So we personally, I will take a jeans and a t-shirt or a shirt or yeah, I'm not the one. Yeah, this is not about a style. This is not a style video. This is a consulting video. So let's leave the style issue a little bit. But what I'm trying to say is not every consultant will come in a suit and tie, especially if that consultant comes from a creative place, more or less. All right. So what we want to explore is how can we bring creativity into the mix? Forget about that stiffness in mainstream consulting. Forget about that structured or very structured way of doing things. And structure is good, but I'm sure you get what I'm trying to say here, right? So if you think of creative consulting, think of it as a blend of strategic thinking and imagination, right? So while you will find a situation where traditional consultants might stick to spreadsheets and standard solutions and you know frameworks and templates, creative consultants aren't afraid to, as we say, color outside the line. You know, it sounds cliche when you say think outside the box, but yes, who aren't afraid to think outside the box, to color outside the line, to go unconventional, to look at things unconventionally. I mean, let's face it, if every business and everybody was still thinking conventionally, we would not have some of the innovations we have today, right? So creative consulting allows you to think differently as you approach business problems. So look at companies like Airbnb or Apple. These companies have figured out that conventional thinking doesn't work. For many years, we had hotels and guest houses and bed and breakfast. Who thought that an ordinary person could rent out a room in their house or couch in their living room for some extra money, right? And then Airbnb comes along. Now, that process, that thinking is really what creative consulting is about. So if you look at a restaurant in a market where, you say, rather than opening a restaurant, I will do takeout only. So rather than a full service eat-in restaurant, I will just do takeout only. You call, place your order, come pick it up, get out. Or you come, place your order, pick it up, get out. There's nowhere to sit and eat. That's thinking outside the box. That's thinking differently. That's taking a new approach to the consulting or to the restaurant business. And these are some of the things that I expected moving forward in 2025 and beyond from consultants, from business consultants. You got to be able to think clearly. And if you're a business owner, then these are some of the things you need to start looking for in the consultants that you work with. People who are not afraid to to do things differently, to challenge the status quo, to look at your business from completely different standpoints and with completely different set of eyes. You don't want people who will just come support your worldview. You want consultants who would challenge your worldview. And if you are that consultant, then embrace it and be able to look at your client and challenge the way they think and help them see things differently, because the old way of doing things may not just be working. All right. So um, one example again that I want to bring about is the whole idea around design thinking. All right. Design thinking is really about getting into your user's shoes and testing ideas quickly. And in the past, there's been different frameworks and different approaches to design thinking. And then along comes an organization called IDEO, and they've mastered, you know, that approach of getting to your customer's shoes, and that has led to some really incredible product breakthroughs, you know. So be able to just think differently, get in. If you are that consultant, help your client get into the minds of their customers. In my last video, I talked about how selling has changed, and selling is not about convincing, but it's about understanding what your clients or your customers need, what problems they have, what pains they're facing, and helping them solve those problems. So in this is in continuation of that. You want to embrace the idea of looking at things differently, get into the situation. If you are that consultant, get into your customer's shoes. But take it to the next level. You get into their shoes and help them get into their customer's shoes. So as consultants, you're not just looking at the issues around your client, but you're also helping them look at the issues around their clients. Right? And that's how it works. Okay. So there are so many cases, so many examples that we can go about. For instance, Procter and Gamble, they were struggling to innovate until they embraced design thinking. Like I mentioned, you know, with ideal mastering design thinking. So I use these big companies because I believe everybody should aspire for greatness and everybody should think big. So the question is, how can you leverage um, this kind of thinking, right? How can you bring some creative consulting magic into your own work, whether you are the business owner that wants to apply the consulting skills to solve your own problems, or you are the consultant that's helping the business owner to solve these problems? Well, the first thing you want to do is to start by taking a fresh look at the challenges you're facing. All right, get your team together, get the business team together, and do a design workshop, a design thinking workshop. All right. In another video, I will show you exactly how to do a design thinking workshop. Okay. But do a design thinking workshop where no idea is too wild and every idea is embraced and considered. So you might want to use tools like mind mapping software or platforms. You know, you got like Miro is one of those that's available out there to be able to capture those ideas. Or listen, you can go old fashioned and get some poster paper or some flip chart paper and some markers and get those babies on the wall and use some post-it notes, and you can do a design thinking workshop completely old school. And as a matter of fact, embrace it. You know, get out there and get your hands busy instead of just typing all day. All right. And so once you do that workshop, remember that some of the best ideas will come from unexpected places. I remember the other day I was facing a situation, and my nephew was around who really is no expert in consulting or anything like that. But he understood, he had basic principles of the particular issue that I was dealing with, you know, and okay, so it had to do with this YouTube channel. And then I just placed some random questions, and you know, within 5 minutes he shared his opinion on something, and boom, that gave me an insight on what to do next. So when you are running a design thinking workshop, realize that there's no idea that's too wild. Okay. Um, Understand that the business world is changing fast. So the old things are not cutting it anymore, right? You got to embrace that process. Like I mentioned, embrace the idea of creative consulting, of looking at things differently from a creativity standpoint. from a wild standpoint, if you will, and see what happens. See what happens. In my next video, I will outline the steps involved in organizing a successful design thinking workshop. All right. But if you want to keep exploring this, or you like the content here, you know, make sure to drop a like. Please subscribe to the channel. Let's grow this channel. I've been busy working and I've not really been growing this channel. This channel has been around for about 10 years or more, but I've really, only dropped things here and there. But I want to be intentional about growing this channel this year. I've renamed it and we're rebuilding the brand and we're calling it the Consulting Catalyst. And the idea is to help businesses understand the impact of consulting and teach business owners some of the consulting skills that I've used over the last 15 to 20 years in helping businesses grow. And so I'm teaching these consulting skills so businesses can apply them, business owners can apply them directly to their own businesses, or newer consultants can use them to help their clients. And that's the idea of the Consulting Catalyst. So if this is something that excites you, there's something you're interested in, I encourage you to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. All right. And yeah, be sure to check out other videos that are coming along around sales, innovation, and business, as well as personal finance for small business owners and entrepreneurs. All right. Until next time, my name is Dan, and I love you.